There are no swing voters in this year's election. Voting in the midterm elections are different from voting in the presidential elections. Not only do fewer people turn out to vote, but when there isn't a president on the ballot, people don't turn, people really just, they don't go vote. So beyond them not going to vote, there aren't this sort of swing voters who are like, I have to vote because it's a presidential election. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do. And here's what this means. That means, voters aren't very interested in crossing party lines. And because voters are interested in crossing party lines, that means what you're going to have is, and this is just some general political analysis for all those folks who don't do this thing, right? So what you have in your off years is you have the swath of far left voters and the swath of far right voters battling each other in a fight to the finish to figure out who will have control of the United States House, the United States Senate, and governor's mansion. So they're battling. And so what this election is about is on the margins. Winning on the margins, meaning not the far left, not the far right, but those people who are center left, center right, who are like, I only vote in presidentials, turn out. This election is about turning out your base in record number. And so since there are no true real independents out there, it's going to require that you get, like I tell them, you know what it is, it's Fran. You get Fran out to the polls. Friends, relatives, associates, and neighbors. We've done this before. We've been down this road. I talked to you about this 2 years ago, Fowler Nation, so this is what I need you to do, right? This election is going to come down to that. It's going to come down to who can turn their base out more, where is there more excitement. Now, I get it, the president is on the ballot, but that's even more reason for you to go out to the polls and vote in this election, because the decisions that we're talking about, the life and death decisions that we live with and we live with each and every day, the president doesn't sign. These are things that your local school board does, your city council does, your state legislature does, your member of your governor does. So that's why this matters. That's why this election matters, and it has real consequences beyond measure. So this election, I would argue, is even more important than voting for President Barack Obama the first time or the second time. This election is about maintaining policies, right? Making sure that young folks, kids get health care, right? Making sure that folks have the ability to get a raise in the minimum wage. That's what this election is about. That's what's at stake. So think about all that before you decide you're not going to go vote, right? I'm not going to vote. President's on the ballot. And ask yourself, who has a bigger swath of decisions over my life? President Barack Obama or the governor of my state? And let's take a state, for example. Let's take the state of Pennsylvania. In Pennsylvania, Governor Corbett cut $1 billion from public education. Now, there's nothing that President Obama can do to return that money. And there's nothing President Obama could do to sort of really change the stakes here. So in Pennsylvania, education has got $1 billion worse, right? And it had nothing to do with President Barack Obama. It had everything to do with the crazy right-wing loon governor. That's why this election has consequences, because it goes beyond just what's happening on the national level. But I digress. I'm getting on my high horse. You guys know how I do. We're keeping it moving.